It's always good to know that someone else has been where you are, and to know that you're not alone. Hence the title of the foundation and the film, No Kidding, Me Too. Well, as always, we want to give you a chance to weigh in. So if you'd like to share your thoughts or perhaps your own experiences with depression, or you want to pass along a message to Joey, a couple of different ways that you can do that. You can email me your thoughts and your opinions. Do that by logging on to csnphilly.com. Then you put in It's Your Call or IYC under the search button. That'll take you to my webpage where you can leave me a comment. You can also email me directly at tcn_IYC@cable.comcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, MySpace, and YouTube. And in just a minute, we're going to share some MySpace and Facebook comments. Right now, though, what I want to do is I want to share another clip from Joey's film, because this is going to introduce you to my next guest, who is a very special young man.
My depression was diagnosed in 8th grade, and I suffered from it pretty bad. Just felt out of place, felt like I had no one to talk to, felt like I could never relate to anyone. And I didn't tell anyone about my depression. I was embarrassed about it, because if I told anyone I had depression, they would look at me like, why in the heck could you be depressed when you're athletic, you're good looking, you got all the girls, and you seem like you have, a good head on your shoulders.
How did alcohol make you feel?
It gave me a reason to do stupid things, like being able to get with any girl that I wanted to. It gave me a release. It made me feel that everything in my life was okay, and it kind of took me away from any depression that I had for that little bit of time. And then when I woke up again, it was like everything was still there.
And Jordan joins us now. He is featured in that clip. He was a high school senior with everything to live for, but as he said, he was secretly battling depression, and he tried to take his own life by jumping from a 9-story window. Today, he is a public speaker and mental health advocate, telling his story about survival and his road to recovery. He hopes to reach out and inspire other young adults. And congratulations on the work that you're doing, and I'm so happy to see that you personally are doing so well physically and mentally. How are you?
I'm doing great. Everything is absolutely spectacular since the last time I was here at the end of last year, just about this time almost. And back then I was in a wheelchair. Spirits are still a little low from not being independent yet, and being 18 at the time and not having any independence was very difficult. But today, physically where I'm at is amazing, and being able to walk using 2 canes is just incredible.
I have to tell you, when I saw you walk into the studio, it nearly brought tears to my eyes, because we did the interview the last time with your parents in a wheelchair,
right.
Because you had suffered such catastrophic injuries when you tried to take your own life.
Right.
And now here you are walking and making a recovery. But it is a struggle every day, isn't it? Not just physically, but mentally as well.
Right, of course. And I always tell people, my depression is not a cold. It doesn't go away after a couple weeks after I take some medicine. It's something that I still deal with, but I feel a lot more comfortable with my depression. I'm able to adapt it and adapt my depression within life and how I view things and view others as well.
Why was it important for you to be part of Joey's documentary?
I felt as though I had a message that should be heard for 2 reasons. Well, really 3. I do have depression, so I do put a face with mental disease being depression. The second thing is I'm a young man, and I think that's very difficult for young men to say confidently how they feel emotionally and talk about something that is very personal. Mm-hmm. And the third thing, and I think Joey brought this up earlier today, is that I am African American, and I think that's also a section that needs to be reached when it comes to these mental health issues.
In the clip that we saw, you mentioned that you were embarrassed to tell anyone that you were feeling down, because from the outside it does look like you have it all going for you, the same way Joey had it all going for him, being, a big hotshot Hollywood star. And that's probably the part that's toughest for people to get over. They're like, well, what could you be bummed out about? Look at you. You got it all going. Right. How do you respond to that? How do you explain to them what's going on inside of you?
It's very difficult because people are not educated on mental disease. And to be honest, when when people hear depressed or they hear depression, they think of being depressed and being sad. Right. And that is where people need to understand and be educated on the fact that there is a difference between feeling depressed and actually having depression.
And that's what we're going to do when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, but we have an expert joining us in just a couple of minutes who will give us some signs that we can look for and ways to tell whether we're just having a gloomy day or whether we actually do have to take this a little bit further. So more information on depression and more Joey Pants right after this. Stay with us.
Lynn Doyle's jewelry provided by David Craig Diamonds and Fine Jewelry, Newtown, Pennsylvania.
Transportation for It's Your Call guests provided by Preferred Car and Limousine.
When I discovered that I was diagnosed with clinical depression, I felt almost euphoric because I had something to blame it on, that it wasn't my fault. Our goal is to get kids like you to be intimate with your feelings, sharing, laughing, crying out loud, and without shame. You're as sick as your secrets. You will turn to drugs before you'll turn to a friend. But when they stop working is when the trouble happens. We're going to walk down in a minute. I encourage you to be painfully and brutally honest today. I brought us all together, those who live with brain disease and the healers that fight it every day.
People can talk about things, it becomes more socially acceptable.
As teenagers, we have no problem admitting we have acne problem and we need to seek treatment. We all have rainy days. It's just whether you can find the right umbrella for you.
To help teach general education teachers how to teach kids with special needs.
Have ER docs and all docs understand that a 16, 17-year-old girl can't advocate for themselves.
It's your personal story that you can give to people that inspires them and says, look, those people really are just like us.
And if I can help someone else because of the things that I went through, then I'd love to do that.